Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Al.
And I am Boomer!
Oh no, Boomer. Anyway, it's been a while since we've made a video, so I wanted to make a video sharing some art that I've worked on. Now in this first video, I want to show the scratch art that I made, which was made on black and white scratch paper. Now this right here, this picture of this tarantula was my first scratch art picture. I've worked on other ones, and we will get to those soon, but I want to talk about the spider.
Damn, Al! The tarantula looks awesome! Looks like it's crawling over rocks and sticks.
Oh yeah. Before I made this scratch art, I found this picture of the tarantula on Google. I have no idea if there's copyright on it or not, but I printed it off anyways, just so I can make scratch art out of it. Now the way that I did it is I took this black and white scratch paper. It's got two layers to it. The black layer is on top and the white layer is underneath. So what I do is I take the piece of the scratch paper and then the picture of the spider that I printed off, and then I used paper clips on the corners to hold it in place to keep the picture of the spider over top of the scratch paper. And then I took a pencil and I drew, and I traced all the lines. And that took a long time.
Well, it would. I can see how that would be difficult to do. Just tracing over everything with the pencil. That would be a challenge.
And it was. But the picture of the tarantula that I printed off was black and white anyways, so I didn't feel the need to add any color to it. Now let's move on to the second picture.
Oh no, Al! Is that Crowley from Supernatural?
Yep, it is. And you can kind of see Dean Winchester there, his ear and his shoulder.
I like this scene from Crowley. Or I mean, this scene from Supernatural. When Crowley and Sam and Dean were standing under the traffic light. Or not the traffic light, but the street light. The street lamp, I should say. And they were in the middle of the apocalypse. The world was ending. Satan had risen up out of hell. Demons were everywhere. But for some reason, Crowley was a part of a faction of demons that didn't want the apocalypse to happen because they wanted to maintain the status quo. And here, Crowley is complaining because another faction of demons burnt down his house and ate his tailor.
Oh no, not his tailor. We're snacking on potato chips as we make this video. But as you can see, other than Crowley's face, this scratch art picture was not very well done. But the picture I printed off, or the screenshot that I took from the episode, or I think that's how I did it. I think I took a screenshot of the episode itself, but other than Crowley's face, this is not a very well made picture. I just wanted to make something funny, you know?
But I do like Crowley's face, though. He looks very upset.
Well, yeah. Wouldn't you be upset too if a bunch of demons ate your tailor?
I probably would, but I don't have a tailor. I'm too poor.
Oh no. We're too poor to afford tailors. Let's move on to the next picture. Now, this picture here, I call it Tools of the Trade. The reason why is because I took everything that I used at the time to make artwork with and put it all in one picture. Okay? Because you got the box of markers in the bottom left corner with the pencil sharpener sitting on it. In the bottom right corner, you've got a box of wooden styluses. I think that's how you say it. The wooden stylus, it looks like a pencil, but it doesn't have any lead in it. And all you use it for is to scratch the black stuff off of the scratch paper. And then, of course, I got the colored pencils. It just says color pencils. It's supposed to say colored pencils, but I didn't give myself enough room.
Oh no.
And then you got the scratch paper there with some squiggly lines on it and a wooden stylus next to it. And this is a white sheet of paper. Now, that white sheet of paper is something I used a lot when I was making scratch art. The reason what I did was when I would make scratch art, after I got done tracing the images on the scratch paper, I removed the paper clips. And then I used the picture I printed off and a piece of plain white paper to put my hands on while I was working. And the reason why it's so important to keep your hands off of the scratch paper is because if you get skin oil on the scratch paper, the black stuff will not scratch off right at all. So when you're working on the project, you have to be very careful not to get skin oil on it. Now, after the picture's done, it's okay to get a little skin oil on the edges because the edges were left black on purpose. And as you can see underneath, I've got this, what the fuck is it called? It's a portfolio book. Each page in it has a plastic sleeve that you can put your artwork in. I don't remember how much it cost me to buy it, but I don't think it was very much, and I think I bought it off of Amazon. And I've been putting my artwork in that for a while. And I've probably filled it close to a third of the way, maybe a little bit more. Not quite half of the way through, because there's still a lot of pages left in the portfolio book, which means I've got more artwork to work on. I have some artwork that is not made on scratch paper, and I will be showing those in part 2. At least some of them. Because the pictures I've been making where I've just been drawing by hand, they've basically just been scenery pictures by the side of the road. So it's mainly been houses and trees and driveways, things like that. But with the scratch art, I can definitely make more detailed images because this here, I just set up the stuff on my table, took a picture, and printed that off. And you know what? This Tools of the Trade scratch art picture turned out good. And now we're going to move on to the next one.
Ooh, what is this, Al?
Have you ever watched Fern Gully, Boomer?
Can't say I have, Al. What's it about?
Well, Fern Gully, I forget who made the movie, but it's not Disney or Pixar. It's somebody else. It's a different company that made Fern Gully. But in the movie was basically about these fairies that lived in the jungle. And there was a cursed tree in a distant part of the forest that had a smoke demon trapped inside of it named Hexus. And very early on in the movie, a logging company came along and they used this machine called the Leveler, which they used to chop down this cursed tree, and they released Hexus. And then Hexus took control over the Leveler and used it to get revenge on the fairies who trapped him in the cursed tree. That is what the movie is about. And this scene right here is near the end. That tree that you see on the right side there, that is the tree that the fairies are hiding inside of. And Hexus is getting ready to cut it down with the Leveler. You know, this movie, I was obsessed with it for a while when I was a kid. Back when I was in 5th grade, I think. When I watched this movie back then, I was obsessed with it. Because in the movie, they have a fruit bat. They have a fruit bat named Batty. Which is kind of a funny name, but Batty was voiced by Robin Williams. And I loved Batty. He made some funny jokes in that movie.
Oh no! What kind of jokes did he make?
Well, there was one joke that he made that I can remember pretty well, but it was involving humans. And he was talking about how humans don't feel anything. They're numb from the brain down. He made some other jokes, but I can't remember them. It's been a while since I watched this.
You'll have to watch this movie again, Al. Sounds interesting. Maybe when we get done with this video, we could watch it if it's on YouTube.
We probably could. We could probably rent it or something. Although I don't have any money to rent movies with at the moment because my check bounced again at work. But when I have money again, we can rent this movie and watch it. Yeah, I do believe it's on YouTube. But Hexus, the smoke demon, he sure has an evil-looking face.
Oh yeah, he does, Al. He has the face of evil. Ready?
Now, we move on to the last scratch art picture. Now, this image that you see right here, this scratch art picture is inside of a picture frame. And I took a picture of it when I was at my cousin Tyler's apartment. He used to have an apartment here in town where I live, but he was having money problems and he had to move out, so he's not at the apartment anymore. But this picture here is basically just a paper plate with a bag of weed sitting on it, a pipe, and this little container with a cap next to it. That is called keef. And what keef is basically the crystals of the buds from the marijuana that fall off of the buds. And what you do with the keef is when you pack your bowl, you put the actual buds in there, get it to the amount that you want, but you want to leave a little bit of room. Damn, sneezing. Damn God. Okay, then when you get done putting the buds in the pipe, that is when you add the keef. You put the buds and the keef in the bowl, and then you take that lighter that's sitting up there next to the paper plate, and you light it, you smoke it, and you get yourself a much stronger buzz. Because when you smoke that keef, you're smoking pure THC crystals. You know. That is what keef is. But this picture here, the reason it's in that picture frame and the others are not is because after I put it in the picture frame, I took it to the dispensary in my hometown, and just as a donation, I just gave it to them, you know. I gave them this picture inside of the picture frame to put wherever they wanted. As far as I know, they keep it in the back office. I should have signed my name to it, but I didn't. All I know for sure is I don't have this picture anymore. The dispensary has it, and I don't know what all they did with it. So, all I've got is a screenshot. And I've got this as my desktop picture, too. With all that being said, I think since this is the last picture, I'm just going to go ahead and end the video here.
Sounds good to me, Al, and holy shit! Audacity has been recording for almost 19 and a half minutes! Huh. This has been a long one, Al!
I mean, not the longest video that we've ever uploaded, but I am surprised at how long it got to be, considering we only had 5 scratch art pictures to work with. But I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to do some editing, and then I'm going to upload this because I haven't uploaded a new video in about a week and a half. And I've been wanting to upload videos, so I'm going to go ahead and end this here.